What's up, everybody? We're back for Timberborn. Update 6 is live. We're starting off. Like I said, this time we're doing Iron Teeth. And I'm thinking we're going to play Beaver. And this is going to be a very difficult map. I haven't played this map since before the Bad Water update. So I don't know how many of these are actually water sources as well as bad water sources, but we're gonna find that out. So I'm gonna actually set this one on a 50-day challenge or 50 cycle challenge, so 50 years, and see if we can survive, because we're doing this on hard mode. I promised. Okay, so we're going to get started, and our settlement is going to actually be called Olympus. And if you're wondering why Olympus, I was running out of names, and I remembered in the manga and anime Appleseed, their city that they lived in was called Olympus, as in the last bastion of hope. And so that's what we're going to do here. But before we get started with our setup, let's hide the water and look. So there's our water sources. We've got water sources there. We do have water sources here. But there's also bad water sources over here, which are causing this water source to not be usable. That's good to know. No bad water here. There's bad water here. So that makes this unusable, even though there's water sources here. All right. So our goal is to last 50 cycles. And if we make it 50 cycles and we're doing pretty good, then we may continue on for a 100 cycle challenge. I figured out how I want to negotiate with bad water when it comes to the bad water cycles, but it's going to be difficult and it's going to take some time. But essentially, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to put basically kind of like a giant tower around these water sources. You know what? You'll see it when we get to it. But it's going to involve a lot of water moving. So since this has the 3D water physics, we'll see how that affects everything. So we're going to go ahead and pause it again. Okay, so first things first. We have trees over here. We've got trees over here. So my biggest thing right now that I want to deal with, besides food, water, is also, we're going to hopefully get some science going and then block this whole section off, so we can eventually get clean water flowing in here, so we won't have to worry about anything except if there's a bad tide. That's our first and foremost that we're going to try and do. We're also going to make our way over here to be able to dam this off, which means we're actually going to have to gather berries and then remove bushes to put a path in to actually dam this off. Because if we dam this off here, we'll actually be able to hold on to some water during a drought, because this is a very deep basin. And at the very beginning, it'll be fine because our droughts aren't that long. But we're still going to need to have water. So let's get started. So we'll put our path in here. Put our path going this way. Get a little zigzag. And then we will put a path. Yeah, we'll put it right next to it going this way. And lumberjacks, lumberjacks, lumberjacks. I don't know. Should I put in 2 over here? Yeah, let's put in 2 over here, so we can get our lumberjacks. And we will put in our gatherer flag over here, so they can start gathering berries. And we need to be sparing about how much wood we're using at the beginning, because there's things that take priority that we need to build. So let's go ahead and get it started so they'll start doing that. We're also going to need water. And looks like anywhere is really going to be good, because the problem is we're not going to be able to get a real good spot for water until we can build platforms or get out into this, because the water will reach all the way down if it's got a clear path. So we'll get further down, but right now we're only going to get so far down. So we'll put the water right there next to it. Oh, forgot. Yes, cutting area, because you know, if they're going to cut down trees, they need to know what to cut, right? Because yeah, we need that. Good thing I didn't speed it up to like the maximum speed and just let them sit there like we don't know what to do, because you didn't do things because you're being silly. So we'll get 2. So the other thing about playing the Iron Teeth, if you've never used them, which by now you may have, is you know that they don't breed like normally. To breed, they use breeding pods. So we're actually going to have to put some breeding pods down as well to continue our beaver growth. Not sure I want to do that just yet, because we have other things that we need to prioritize. And the breeding pods use berries and water, and so that is a huge thing. So let's see, landscaping. Like I said, we want to build a dam across here. But to do that, you know, let's be real about this. Let's get 2 gatherers here. Because we have 8 beavers, which means 8 adults, which means we have 2 unemployed. So that means they're going to start on the water first, then the tubes. Then we're going to really need to get working on science at some point. So we're going to hold off on actually building shelter for a little bit. And we're actually also going to put them up to 20-hour workday. It's the first time I've actually manipulated the workday schedule, but I want to make sure to get these things done as early as possible and as quick as possible, so that we can make the most of the time that we're getting here. Oh, yeah, I guess I should have said this needs water. And this one's going to need water too. So what I'm going to try and do is actually, I'm not going to cover this, but I'm going to build on top of this. So once I get platforms and everything, I'm going to start building out into the water and literally making it almost like a Waterworld dock. If you've ever seen that movie. If you haven't, yeah, I'm dating myself. Okay, we're already on day 2. So I was talking about holding off on the breeding pods, but I want the breeding pods as soon as possible, because I'm going to need more workers when those become adults. Because the first thing I need to do is, there's 2 things I need to do. One is get a farmhouse going, which we're going to put a farmhouse here so we can start planting crops. And, you know, since that's... Okay, the breeding is started. Get the farmhouse going. We're going to plant kohlrabies. Nice kohlrabi patch. And then the other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need an inventor. And since the iron teeth do not use windmills, the power wheel is how they get power. And power wheels use 100 logs. So we are going to need to make a lumber mill. We'll put that there. And then we're going to need to put a power wheel next to it, because that's going to power it. All right, so I got day 3, and we got a drought approaching in 3 days. So that means we got 6 out of the possible 8 days out of the cycle. That, I mean, it could be worse. So we're going to have to mark all those to be demolished. And we're going to prioritize those. And then we are going to we're going to pause this gatherer flag because we've got enough berries right now. Oh, one of our babies grew up. That's always good. Still not close enough. So we're going to pause both of these gatherer flags right now, because the reason why I am set on getting our science, well, because we need to get to a forester. So we need science to get to a forester. I love this detail now. You'll start to see everything as it's being built. So you'll see more of the footprint of what's being built. I love that new feature. Okay. So we should survive the first drought, no problem. Alright, we can pause that lumber mill for now. You know, I forgot. I can set all these trees to be cut too, because there's ways up. So we have a lot more trees than I was thinking we did. Okay, we're at a -1. We're pretty much at a 0 again because, yeah, they don't have a place to live. But priorities have to prevail. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a lumberjack flag, put it here, and we're going to delete this one. So to make sure that they can reach all of this wood over here. And I know this dam is going to hurt us when bad water happens, but I don't plan on keeping it there permanently, because once bad water happens, and if I have enough where I could use the floodgates, I can just use the floodgates to retain some of the water in here at a higher level than what it's at now, and then just let the bad water flow out. All right, our drought has started, and our first drought is a 5-day drought. Shouldn't be too bad. Turning the priority on those down some, because I'm really going to need them. Oh, they finished it. Okay, awesome. We can't use them yet because actually we could. How many do we have? We have 1 unemployed Beaver. So we take this down to 1. Take that down to 1. Put 1 on the lumber mill and 1 on the power. And that should start getting us some planks. We're at 48 science. We need 60 to get the forester. Once we get the forester, it'll be gravy for a while. For a while. Or at least until our first bad tide. Because then it's going to create problems with our crops and everything. So this is going to be a very difficult map because of that. There are ways around it, but we'll have to figure that out as we go. All right. 60. We have our forester. So we will put our forester, we're going to put him, I think in this corner right here. And he needs 7 planks. All right, we're going to have our 7 planks. So we're actually going to pause our lumber mill, pause our power wheel, so we can get our forester built. And we're going to plant birch on this side. And then we're going to plant pine on this side. I'm not trying to do any aesthetic. I'm not trying to do any aesthetic looking designs or anything with all of this right now, because I just want them to plant the trees so they'll grow. And then down here we'll do some oak. So one thing I do know for sure is when we do have our first bad tide, it's going to kill off, it's probably going to kill off like most of these plants, most of these blueberry bushes, which is not so great. But I can make sure to put blueberry bushes there. So I have 34 logs and 6 planks. We're good on that for now. They're still taking these trees down, so that's always good. So we still have a lot of wood left. Cycle 1, day 9. We still have 2 days left on our drought. But we're doing good. We got more than enough water. As a matter of fact, I probably could cut this pump off. But I actually just added 2 more beavers to the district center because we had 2 that didn't have anything to do. So have them help out with that. Cycle 2, day 1. Drought's over. We survived easily. Hopefully it stays that way. So if you're wondering what's going to be our easiest way to get metal, our first metal is going to be here. And then we're going to have to filter everything out of this so we can get to this mine. That's going to be the easiest and closest one to get to because the other one is over here. And there's bad water and that's just a pain to build around. So right now this is not accessible. That's not accessible. This is not accessible. So we have a ways to go. All right, so we have 60 wood. Oh man. So you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna build some housing. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna start building our housing. Because we do want to start increasing our well-being. Because that's just gonna hopefully make things for a smoother ride. So we're gonna build 1 there. Because we're maxed out on logs because we don't have any storage. And to be quite honest, I don't know where I want to put storage for it right now. Because I don't know if I want to make a small industrial pile or a large industrial pile. But how about we start with some small industrial piles. Let's say 2 right there for logs. So that way they can bring them right here. We finished our dam. Boom, right there. And very quickly we got to well-being 3. We're going to need to build more shelter for that. So even if we were to get to this metal and start getting that right now, we wouldn't really have any way to smelt it. So I just need to keep my plans in my head for that. So what we're also going to do is we are going to not demolish. What are we doing? Not demolishing. We are going to get rid of this lumberjack. And we're basically going to move him over there. And no one can work there because the path's not connected right now. But now it is. Alright, Damari's over there. Storing our logs. We still have 6 beavers who are homeless. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, I am going to not replant birch there. I'm going to plant birch there. And I'm going to put berries there. Okay, I need to go put another one there so they can work on these kohlrabies faster. They're eating the kohlrabies as fast as we get them harvested, so I guess the smart thing to do would be to plant more kohlrabies. Oh, we have 3 beavers with nothing to do. Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize. I was unawares. Oh no! Pause! He's got broken teeth. What are we going to do to fix that? Oh, I know what we're going to do. A teeth grindstone. So we'll put a grindstone there. Increase the priority. So we can get him back into the groove. 120 science. If we can get to 150, I will get the double platforms before I get the single platforms. I just realized I did not put down the storage. So yeah, we're going to put a medium warehouse and we're going to place it over here. And this is going to be for kohlrabies. And what it is I'm hoping that we just can get a stockpile of kohlrabies. So 1 beaver is enough to put out the maximum output for that, which is good. It's actually fantastic. Whoa. We got a drought coming, and this time the cycle was 9 days. So that's good. All right, that's good for us. Did I forget to turn the water back on? Yes, I did. So as you can see, our water level is much higher now that we have that those dams there, because, you know, it'll allow it to hold more water in here, which is going to be helpful in droughts. Not so much during bad tides. But I digress. It's going to work. Because we'll make it work. The only downside right now is that our food is not staying up. It's not going to be out enough to sustain us. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pause the breeding pods. Because we have 16 beavers right now. This is more than enough. I'm going to pause the breeding pods. Ooh, 150. That means I can make double platforms. Ooh, double platforms or levees. Double platforms will allow us to start expanding. Okay, we're going to go with double platforms. I'm making an executive decision. Because I want to start expanding out onto the water. I don't know if it's going to seem trivial to you that I'm prioritizing expanding out to the water, but I really just want to get started expanding out into the water, at least right now. Okay, so 17 berries and 2 kohlrabies. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to stifle our growth, because berries take a long time to grow, so we need kohlrabies. And even with one farmhouse with kohlrabies, it's still not enough to sustain us. Luckily, we're only having droughts. It's going to become more difficult as soon as the bad tides come. So I'm trying to get a stable population before we have a run-ending event. Let's not beat around the bush. It can possibly end the run. So let's see. If I go down to 1, they'll still be good. I have 2 excess beavers without jobs. We can put them back to that. Okay, well, we're about to head into our second drought, but I feel like that's going to have to wait until next time. So I will catch you guys later.